Hello, everybody. My name is Sashko, and I'm here with Razom for Ukraine in Stockholm, Sweden, at an amazing European festival focused on Ukraine. Today, I am joined by Natalya, Pasichnyk, and we are going to talk a little bit about this program today and about the festival because this is the second year. So, Natalya, I'd love for you to introduce yourself, tell folks who you are, what you do, and how this festival came to be.
My name is Natalya Pasichnyk. I'm a concert pianist. I have been living in Sweden for more than 30 years, so I'm more like two-thirds of my life. I'm more probably Swedish than Ukrainian, but now we are all Ukrainian in our heart. And as you said, this festival is probably the biggest and the most global and huge European festival, but Ukrainian-centered festival. So for this edition is very important. In general, the concept and the idea of this festival is to show that Ukraine is a natural integrated part of Europe, always has been, and the audience has to get used to that. And as you said, this is the second edition, but actually the roots of this festival goes back to 2016 when we just started, when probably we were the only one who understood the importance of this concept, but the world, the Europe were not ready for us. But it was a much smaller festival with much less global. It's called Rethinking Europe Ukraine, but the concept was the same. It's just that we did not have so many partners, and as I told, the Europe was not ready for that so much. So we did 3 editions because before pandemic, and then since 2022, this is the third, but the second biggest, but the third time we do something like this. And as I told, we have 35, I think, partners, including European Commission, including all European cultural institutes, and including biggest cultural institutions in Sweden, like Royal Concert Hall, like modern art museums, and a lot of other. So for us, it's important that people, this is not just a festival to support Ukraine. This is a festival with very high artistic level. So the consumer of the high art and high music, they can come to the platform and to the places where they used to go, and they will understand that Ukraine is a part of this, and will get used to that, I suppose. I also want to say one aspect more. Of course, now it's very nice with music and to share our cultural heritage with European audience. But of course, the most important thing, because we cannot take decision to send weapons or planes. So we try to keep this subject very high for people who can do this, because they are coming to our concerts, and that's why we dedicate each event to a person of culture who went to the war and died. Like if we had dance evening yesterday, and it was dedicated to a ballet dancer from Kiev Opera, and today it was dedicated to a conductor. So we take every field and try to keep this attention.
I saw that in the program, and I honestly, it was very emotional to see that and very beautiful, and thank you for doing that. When you were putting the program together, who thought of that idea? And you talked about the importance of honoring the people that we've lost. Where is that idea coming from, and how do you think it has impacted the audiences who are coming and reading the programs?
I think this idea comes from the realization that we are here and talking to you because somebody died. And we usually think that it's somebody like, abstract person. We wanted to show that this is a real person, and this is people who are like could play here today or conduct or dance, but they don't, because they protected us. So this is of course very important idea, and I think that for people is very important, because and for our partners, all of them reacted like, now we see how real it is, and who Ukraine lose in this war, and this gives totally different dimension to all this festival. In general, the idea was to present Ukraine as an integral part of European cultural heritage, because according to Russia, we should not exist, and we that's why our cultural heritage should not exist. So the people in Europe, they're not used that Ukraine actually has a rich history of cultural heritage and going so back to Baroque music. And especially it was stolen by, like all other things, by our neighbors. And for us, what's important to see not only that it existed Baroque music in Ukraine, but also how much common roots, because all this Bortnyansky, Berezovsky, they were studying in Italy. So for them, this common influences was already there in a Baroque time. So it's nothing like new. So for us, it's very important that this very, very famous, very nice Italian ensemble will incorporate this program in their program. So now then dedicated to this some time to learn it, so which means that they will perform it on our other places, in there. And this is about, drop by drop, putting Ukraine into the cultural map of Europe and the world.
Can we talk about a little bit about choosing this ensemble, right? What was the process like behind the scenes? We all know when we put together big festivals, it's really hard to choose who's going to be doing what. I'm sure you had a huge hand in putting the programming together. Talk about the behind the scenes process of the festival.
This is a huge festival, as you say. Last year we had a 1 month, so it was like really, but it was really very difficult. And every day we had events every day, and it was sold out every day. So this year it's only 2 weeks, and I have to give credit to Italian Institute, which is one of our partners, because Ukrainian Institute is a member of network, UNIC, which is European Union of National Cultural Institute, and Italian Institute is one of our partners. So they did. Besides having this fantastic venue, they also suggested the group. And to put together all this program, of course, it needs a lot of puzzle and a lot of connections, which, of course, after 30 years being an active concert pianist, I have them, and that's why I'm putting mostly that. And we try to choose best possible artist. As I told, the most important thing that this will be the part of European cultural ecosystem. So this festival will stay as a European festival, and Ukraine will be like a central part of it. So it's not like Ukrainian festival to support or something. That's why we always choose the best artist. So for example, we had an opening night with the Kalmus ensemble, which is one of the most famous vocal group in Germany. And then we had Benjamin Sweet Jazz Quartet from Austria. And then final will be Gidon Kremer and Kremerata Baltica. So this is really huge names, which will draw the audience to the names, which they will also see the rest, what we wanted to communicate to them.
Right. And we're in Stockholm, Sweden. We're in a nation that is also a blue-yellow flag nation. And you just mentioned every day, it was a sold-out festival. Today, packed. People were standing. There was standing room only. The support. How do you feel it? Do you feel it? We saw a lot of Ukrainian flags around. Here you are making sure that Ukrainians are heard, Ukrainian voices are highlighted. Can you talk a little bit about your journey here in Sweden?
I have to say that this country is amazing. I really love. I mean, it's my. It's like having two kids. It's having two home countries, and of course, you love most those kids who has problem. And now, of course, my heart is with Ukraine. But Sweden is an amazing country. I don't think I would stay here if it would be different. But the statistics said that 97% of Swedes support Ukraine, and from day one, I felt it every day almost, and I think that this support is very persistent. I mean, they are persistent in its support. I can give you an example that all Swedes gather every day since the war started, every Monday, not every day, but every Monday, in spite of weather, in spite of holiday or minus 20, in the biggest plan, in the biggest torg, how to say, plaza, square in Stockholm, and in general, not maybe knowing so much about this country because it was either illusion of knowledge or it was like fake knowledge, because of we know why now everybody, but their subconscious moral compass in on the right side of barricades. So with this, I just only can say that I'm very happy that I live here, and they broke all their own rules. They became a part of NATO, and when I came here for 30 years ago, it was almost impossible even to talk and to think about this. They sent weapons, they sent all possible weapons, except of course this plane, which I know that they will send anyway. And all these are rules which they just break because they are so proud of their neutrality. But when you have such a clear black and white, so you cannot be neutral if it's something wrong. So with this, I have to say that, and generally Scandinavian countries are very adequate in this war.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your heart, for your dedication, for this amazing festival that we saw on the streets. Walking through, and there was the flyer and the festival right in the middle of our eyesight. So thank you so much for spreading Ukrainian culture, and Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.